Hey, what's going on, family? I hope everybody's doing all right. Sorry I'm a little late. Um, but glad everybody showed up. Let me check out this live. Check out the chat first. Welcome, Kenny Romero, Reigning Woman. Thanks for coming. Appreciate that. We're gonna wait for some more people, and appreciate that. We're gonna wait for some more people to come in before I'll read the story. You see Hollywood Blacklist in the 40s. Oh no, why is it active? Oh, okay. Just off. Okay. Hollywood Blacklist in the 40s and 50s. Let's talk about it. Plus, it's happening right now. We're gonna wait for some more people to come in. I make me a little food. Definitely gonna show that. The ones who was in last night, I was like, that was some the same. It's like the same, but I tell you what it is. But it's like the same, almost like the same last night. So I'm gonna show my food in a few minutes. Gonna wait for some more people to get in. And also, I'll be doing another live, second one tonight at 9 o'clock. And I need to stay tuned for that. So I got some good goodies. I got two good ones for the family tonight. And this one might be a panel discussion. I'm not sure yet, but if not, the second one is. So just work with me on that, fam. I don't know yet, but the second one is definitely going to be the panel discussion. All right. So stay tuned for that. We're gonna wait for some more people to come in, light up everything. I'm gonna show my food. Roddy Chica, Poetic Cows, thanks for coming. We get this going in a few minutes. Let's see. Hold on, fam. Hold on. Let's see. Yes, thanks for coming. Support my channel, The Underrated Darkness. Let's get them likes and the views up on this one, please. And in my past live stream and video, powerful ones. Hit the bell when I come with a powerful one. Very much appreciated. Also, if y'all want to look for more stuff, I have. IC, thanks for coming. Miss your presence. Thanks for coming, being here. Yours truly, Jerry Todd. That's my Facebook page, Facebook group, capitals JT MVP Thinking for Ourselves. Also in caps, Twitter account at JT Blackman 44. Instagram account same thing at Underrated Darkness, but lower caps. Okay. I have my own sports show every Monday, the Underrated Sports Show every Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time with my co-host, She Stay Sleep TV. That's 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Also, I do music, and also I do boxing. Matter of fact, the next one is gonna be about music. So stay tuned for that. All right, that's gonna be 9 o'clock. So I'm grinding it out for y'all tonight. So the same ones that come here, just wait around. It's gonna be good. So we're gonna wait for some more people to get in. I'm gonna show you my food. Then we gonna get it cracking. All right, so. Glad everybody's showing up. Very much appreciate it. The legendary blue gamer. I don't know yet. I don't know. Do you know? Yeah, I don't know yet. Okay, no problem. I see. No problem. The legendary blue gamer. Do you see? Do you see the topic? Okay. Wait for some more people to get in. Let me switch back to other screen. Anybody want to see my food? Let me get 5 ones. Five ones. We get 5 ones. That's 1. No, I don't count. 2. That's cheating. Raining Woban. That's 2. 3 more. That's 3. Two more. That's 4. 1 more. Well, that's it. Hold on, family. Oh, sure, almost messed that up. Now, I did something like this last night. This was what I did it to last night. It was blue cheese, but I switch it up, dude. This is basic, basic. Always put mustard, put spicy mustard on top. This one, last night, it's about the same, but this is last night I had salt and pepper, hot sauce, and I had melted you see melted shredded sharp cheese, but this one is different. What I put on top of the right underneath this, I put salsa on top of the fries. Then I put Then I put the cheese melted, and the teas from last night, sweet tea, little vanilla and lemon extract in the tea. That's how I do. Now you want to know what I did last night? Go to the man's live I did last night. Then y'all see it. Regina David, that's good. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. Say my prayers. Amen. Okay. I guess if y'all can hear me, press 1. If y'all can hear me, press 1. Oh yeah, natural, no doubt. Okay. All right, I see. Okay. Well, I might as well get this going. It's Hollywood Blacklist, the 1940s and 50s. Let's talk about it. Plus, is it happen? I mean, is it happen now? All right. Hold on, fam. Hold on. All right. The Hollywood Blacklist, as broader entertainment industry blacklist, is generally known as the practice of denying employment to screenwriters, actors, directors, musicians, and American entertainment professionals during the mid 1920th century because they was accused of having communist lies or sympathies. Hold on, fam. Okay. Shit. Okay, the Hollywood Blacklist as a broad entertainment history blacklist generally known as approximately century was accused of communist. Artists was barred from work on the basis of their membership, allegedly members in or sympathy of the Communist Party USA, or they refused to assess investigation into the party activities, even during the period as its strict enforcement from the late 1940s through the late 1950s. The blacklist was rarely made explicit or verifiable, but it directly damaged the careers of scores of individuals worked in the film industry. The first systematic Hollywood blacklist was instituted by November 25th, 1947, the day after 10 writers and directors were cited for contempt of Congress for refusing to testify before the House Un-American Activities Committee. A group of study executives acting under the edges of the Association of Motion Picture Producers find the artist's so-called Hollywood 10 and made what had become the Waldorf Statement. On June 22nd, 1950, a paper entitled Red Channels was published, focused on the field of broadcasting, and identifies 151 entertainment industry professionals in the content of red faces. On a sympathizer soon, most of those names, along with the host of other artists, was banned for employment of most entertainment field. The Blacklist until 1961, Dalton Trumbull, a Communist Party member from 1943 to 1948, a member of the Hollywood 10, was credited as screenwriting of the highly successful film Exodus, and later publicly announced by actor Kirk Douglas for writing the screenplay for the movie Spartacus. A number of those who blacklist, however, were still banned from work of their profession for years after. The Hollywood Blacklist was rooted in events of the 1930s and the early 1940s, encompassing the heights of the Great Depression and the World War II. Two major film industrial strikes during the 1930s increased tensions between Hollywood producers and the union, particularly the Screenwriters Guild. The American Communist Party lost substantially support after the Moscow show trials of 1936 to 1938 and the German-Soviet non-aggression pact of 1939. Interesting. The U.S. government began turning its attention to the possible links Hollywood and the party during this period. Under their chairman, Martin Dies Jr., the House Un-American Activity Committee released a report in 1938 claiming that the communists was persuasive in Hollywood. 2 years later, Dies privately took testimony from a former Communist Party member, John L. Leach, who named 42 movie industry professionals as communists. After Leach repeatedly his charge in supposed confidence to a Los Angeles grand jury, many of those names were reported in the press, including these stars: Humphrey Bogart, James Cagney, Katharine Hepburn, Marilyn Douglas, and Frederick March, among well-known Hollywood figures. Dies said he would clear all those who cooperate by meeting with him. He called executive session. Within 2 weeks, the grand jury leaked all those on the list except actress Jean Morrow had met with the HUAC chair. Dies cleared everyone except actor Linus Stander, who was fired by the movie studios, Republican Pictures, where he was contracted. In 1941, producer Walt Disney took out an ad in Variety, the industry trade magazine, to clear his conviction that communist accusation was behind the cartoonist and animation strikes. According to historians Larry Kapler and Steve Ecom, and actually the strike has resulted from Disney. Inspired by Disney, California State Senator Jack Tenney, chair of the state legislation, joined fact-finding committee on un-American activity, launched an investigation of Reds in movies. The probe fell flat. It was marked in several Variety headlines. The subsequent wartime alliance between the United States and the Soviet Union brought the American Communist Party newfound credibility. During the war, membership in the party reached 50,000. As World War II drew its close, perception changed again, with communists increasingly becoming a focus of American fears and hatred. In 1945, Gerald L. K. Smith, founder of the neo-fascist American First Party, began giving speeches in the Los Angeles, assaulting the alien-minded Russian Jews in Hollywood. Mississippi Congressman John E. Rangel, a member of the HUCA, held a press conference to declare that one of the most dangerous pilots ever investigated for the overthrow of his government has its headquarters in Hollywood, the greatest hotbed of subversive activity in the United States. Rankin promised, we on the trial of Troy Law now. Report of Soviet repression of Eastern and Central Europe in the War of Aftermath added more fuel that becomes known as the Second Red Scare. The growth of conservative political influence and the Republican triumph in the 1946 congressional elections, which saw the party take control of both House and Senate, led to a major revival of institutional anti-communist activity publicly spearheaded by HUAC. Following the year, the motion picture Alliance for the Preservation of American Ideas, MPA, in parentheses, a political action group co-founded by Walt Disney, issues a pamphlet advising producers on the avoidance of subdued communistic touch on their films. Its council resolves around a list of ideologies prohibits such as don't swear the free enterprise system, don't swear industrialists, don't swear wealth, don't smear the profit motive, don't define the common man, don't glorify the collective. The Blacklist begins 1946-1947. On July 29, 1946, William R. Wilkerson published the co-founded the Hollywood Reporter published a trade view column entitled "The Vote for Joe Stalin." It named communist sympathizers Dalton Trumbull, Maurice Lester Cole, Howard Koch, Harold Buchanan, John Wesley, Ring Lawton Jr., Harold Salzman, Harry Meyer, Theodore Strauss, and John Howard Lawson. In August and September 1946, Wilkerson published other columns containing names of numerous purported communists and sympathizers. They became known as Blacklist and Billy Blacklist. In the 1965 anniversary article in 2012, Wilkinson's son apologized for the newspaper role in the Blacklist, saying that his father was motivated by revenge for his own thought ambition to own a studio. In October 1947, drawing upon the list named in the Hollywood Report, the House Un-American Activity Committee subpoenaed a number of persons working in the Hollywood film industry to testify adherence. The committee had declared its intention to investigate whether communist agents and sympathizers had been planted propaganda in U.S. films. The hearing opening was appearance by Walt Disney and Ronald Reagan, then president of the Screen Actors Guild. Disney testified that the threat of communism in the film industry was a serious one and named specific people who had worked for him probable communists. Reagan testified that a small clique within his union was using communist-like tactics in attempting to steal union policy, but he did not know those unarmed members was communists or not, and that in any case, he thought the union had them under control. Later, his first wife, actress James Wyman, states that her biography in Joe Morrow, 1985, states that Reagan allegations against friends and colleagues led to tension in their marriage, eventually result in their divorce. Actor Adolf Hitler declared, "I am a witch hunter. If a witch are communist, I am a red bait. I would like to see them all back in Russia." In contrast, several leading Hollywood figures include director John Huston, actor Humphrey Bogart, Laura Bacall, Julie Garland. Now, Julie Garland played in the very first Wizard of Oz back in 1939. They throw that in. And Danny Kaye, organized committee for the First Amendment protest, the government target is film industry. Members of the committee, such as Sterling Hayden, assured Beauregard that they were not communists. During the hearing, local Washington papers report that Hayden was a communist. After returning to Hollywood, Beauregard shouted at Danny Kaye, "You fuckers sold me out." The group came under attack and being awful under pressure from his studio, Warner Brothers, to distance himself from the Hollywood 10. Beauregard negotiated a statement that he did not denounce the committee, but said that his trip was ill-advised, even foolish. Billy Wilder told the group that we ought fold. Halstead later changed his opinion of the Hollywood 10. In a 1952 letter, he told Khalid, "It was a long time afterward that I discovered the real reason behind the behavior of the 10 in Washington. When I did was shocked beyond words. It seems that some of them already testified in California and that their testimony had been forced. They had said they were not communists, and now to have admitted to the press would have been they laid themselves open to change of prejudice. And so when I believe them to have engaged to defend freedom of the individual, they were really looking at their own skin. Had I so much be suspected such a thing, you may be sure I would have washed my hands of them instantly. But as I said before, the revelation was a long time coming." Many of the industrial professionals in whom HUAC had expressed interest in primary screenwriters were also actors, directors, producers, and others, was either known as allegedly has been member of the American Communist Party. Of the 43 people had put on the witness list, 19 declared they would not give evidence. 11 of these 19 was called before the committee. Members of the committee for the First Amendment flew to Washington ahead of this climactic praise of the hearing, which commenced on Monday, October 27th. Of the 11 unfriendly witnesses, one emerging playwright, Brechet, untimely chose to answer the committee questions. The other 10 refused, cite the First Amendment rights for freedom of speech, assembly. The crucial question they refused to answer was not generally rendered as are you now, or have you ever been a member of the Communist Party? Each had 9 times or another been a member. As many intellectuals during the Great Depression felt that the party offended an alternative capitalist. Some still would make others. Hold on, family. Let me get this out. Welcome, fam. Welcome. Thanks for coming. Appreciate that. Each had a time or another has been a member of many intellectuals during the Great Depression felt that the party offered an alternative capitalist. I think I read that. Some were members, others have been active in the past, and others briefly. The committee formally accused these 10 contempt of Congress and began criminal proceedings against them in the full House of Representatives. In light of the Hollywood 10 defiance of HUAC, in addition to refusing to testify, many had tried to read statements describing the committee investigation as unconstitutional political pressure mount on the film industry to demonstrate an empty submission bona fides. Late in the hearing, Eric Johnson, the president of the Association of Motion Pictures and Motion Pictures Association of America, declared that the committee he would never employ any proven or admitted comments because they are just disruptive force, and I don't want them around. On November 17th, the Screen Actors Guild vote to make its officers swear to pledge asserting each was not a communist. The following week, November 24th, the House of Representatives voted 346 to 17 to approve citation against Hollywood 10 for contempt of Congress. The next day, following a meeting of film industry executive at New York Waldorf Astoria, that's one of the famous hotels in the world, especially New York, AMPP President Johnson issued a press release that is today referred as to Waldorf statement. The statement says that the 10 will be fined and suspended without pay and a non-employment until they clear to contempt charges and has sworn that they were not communists. The first Hollywood blacklist was in effect. Now, I'm going to stop right here. Let me get a bite. I'm going to stop right there. The ones didn't see my food, I'm going to show you my food. Before I continue, if you come last night, it's about the same thing. This is French fries, cut up sweet onions. Underneath there, that's salsa. I melt that with shredded cheese. This is regular hot dogs, mayonnaise. Hot dogs, I'm sorry. Spicy mustard, juice, sweet tea, little vanilla extract, and little vanilla and lemon extract. Get that. Let me take a little shit of that. Now, before I continue, I want you to understand what's going on here. This is the beginning stage of the blacklist. This is when they put the legislation in. Okay? Let me get a piece of this before I continue. So, they was going like fame, actor, and actress and stuff. All right, bro. Now I'm gonna read like the list is growing. Now you're gonna see more prominent. I don't know if they don't have it here or not, but now, but I'm gonna add to it and everything. You're gonna see more of us be on the list. And to understand, the one that had this blacklist is a no good J. A. Hoover, that was head of the CIA for over 30 years before he passed away in '69. They don't want to spearhead this. All right? I want you to understand that. So remember what I'm saying. Say it again. I'm talking the beginning stages now. Now they bring the legislation in. That's when the blackmail start really forming. And you're going to see, you're going to really hear that the legislation they had a stranglehold. All right? So let me get myself together. Take a little intermission because you know. Welcome everybody. Okay. Here we go. The list grows. 1948 through 1950, the HUAC hearing that failed to turn up any evidence that Hollywood was secretly dismantled communist propaganda, but the industry was nonetheless transformed. The fallout for the inquiry was a factor decision by Floyd Oldham, primary owner of RKO Records, to get out of business. As a result, the studio will pass into hands of Howard Hughes. Within a week of taking over in May 1948, Hughes fired most of the RKO's employees and virtually shut down the studio down for 6 months, as he had political sympathies of the rest investigated. Then, as RKO swung back into production, he would make a decision to settle a long-standing federal antitrust suit against the industry Big Five studios, which would be one of the crucial steps in the collapse of the studio system that was governing Hollywood and ruled much of world cinema for a quarter century. That's interesting. In early 1948, all of Hollywood 10 was convicted in contempt following a series of unsuccessful appeals. The case arrived before the Supreme Court among submission filed in defense of the 10 was a measures current brief signed by 204 Hollywood professionals. After the court denied review, the Hollywood 10 began serving 1 year's prison sentence, in 1950. One of the 10 songwriters, Dalton Trouble, states in the 1976 documentary film Hollywood on Trial, as far as I was concerned, it was complete just verdict. I had contempt for that Congress had a contempt for several cents. And on the basis of guilt of innocence, I could never really complain very much. This was a crime, or misleading was the compliment, my complaint. In September 1950, one of the 10 directors, Edward Datrek, publicly announced that he had once been a communist and was prepared to give evidence against others who had been as well. He was released early from jail following his 1951 HUAC appearance, in which he described his brief member in the party and named names. His career recovered. Dang. The other remained silent and most unable to attain work in American films and television industry for many years. Adrian Scott, who produced for Deltra Films, Murder My Sweet, Corner, So Well Remembered, and Crossfire. One of those names by his former friend Scott. Next screen credit would not come until 1972, and he would never produce another feature film. Some of those Blacklists continue to write for Hollywood on broadcast and industrial superlatively, using predominantly or the names of friends who post as actual writers, which those allow their names to be used in this fashion was called fronts. Of 2000, of the 204 who signed the Mitras brief, 84 will be Blacklist themselves. There were no more Joe Chilling. Humphrey Bogart, who has been one of the most prominent members of the Committee for the First Amendment, felt compelled to write an article for the Play magazine denied he was a communist sympathizer. The Tanning Committee, which continued its state-level investigation, summoned songwriter Ira Gershwin to testify about his participation of the committee. And they showed the article in May 7th, 1948. Peace to everybody in the chat. The number of non-governmental organizations participating in the force in expanding the Blacklist, in particular, the American Legion, the Conservative War Veteran Group, was instrumental by pressuring the entertainment, sympathies, and disagreement with. In 1949, the American Division of the Legion issues its own blacklist, a roster of 120 people whom it claimed were participants in a communist conspiracy. Among the names on the Legion list was that of well-known playwright Lillian Hellman. Hellman had written and contributed screenplays, approximately 10 motion pictures. Up to that point, she would not be employed again by Hollywood studios until 1966. Another influential group was American Business Consultant, founded in 1947, in the subscription information for his weekly publication, Counterattack, the newsletter of facts and combat communists. It declares it's run by a group of former FBI men, had no affiliation whatsoever by any government agency, notwithstanding that claim. It seems the editor of Counterattack has direct access to the files of both Federal Bureau of Investigation and HUAC. The result, that access became widely apparent with the June 1950 publication Red Channels. The Counterattack spin-off lists 151 people in entertainment and broadcasting journalists, along with records their involvement in what the pamphlet mean to be taken as a communist or pro-communist activity. A few of those names, such as Hellman, who already denied employment in the motion picture, TV, radio fields. The publication of Red Channels means score that would place them on blacklist that year. CBS institutes loyal oath, which requires its employees. G. Murrow was the first to perform to lose employment because of a listing in Red Channels. In 1953, Murrow was named as a communist sympathizer in the pamphlet and was immediately removed in the case of television sitcom The Irish Family, which she had been cast as Miss Aldrich. NBC had received 20 and 30 phone calls possessing her being in the show. General Foods sponsors said that they would not sponsor programs which that controversy person was featured. Though the company would later receive thousands of calls protesting the decision, it was not reversed. HUAC returns. 1951 through 1952. In 1951, with the U.S. Congress now under Democratic control. Hold on, family. Hold on. Sorry about that, fam. See something. Sorry about that, fam. Sorry about that. Go get back to the day. Okay. In like I said, HUAC returns 1951 to 1952. In 1951, with the U.S. Congress now under Democratic control, HUAC launched a second investigation of the Hollywood and the communists. As actor Larry Parks, when he called before the panel, don't represent me with the choice of either being contempt in this committee, going to jail, force me to really crawl through the mud, being an informant. For what purpose? I don't think it is a choice of all. I don't think this is really sportsmanlike. I don't think that this is American. I don't think this is American justice. Parks autonomously testified, becoming, however, reluctantly as friendly witness, and found himself blacklisted nevertheless. In fact, the legal tactics which refusing to testify has changed by this time. Instead of relying on the First Amendment, they invoked the Fifth Amendment shield against self-incrimination. Thought as before, the Communist Party membership was not legal. While this usually allowed witnesses to avoid names without being indicted for contempt of Congress, taking the Fifth before HUAC guaranteed that one who will be added to the industrial blacklist. Historians at the time distinguished between the relative official blacklist and the names who were called by HUAC in whatever manner, refused to cooperate, and were identified as communists in the hearing, and so-called gray list. Those others who were denied work because of their political or personal affiliation, real or imagined. The consequence, however, was largely same. The gray list also referred more specifically to those who were denied work by major studios, but could still find jobs on Poverty Row. Composer Emma Bernstein, for instance, was called by HUAC when it was discovered that he was written some music review for Commerce newspaper. After he refused to name names, pointing out that he never attended the Communist Party, meaning he found himself composing music for movies such as Catwoman of the Moon. Like Parks and Dutra, others also cooperating with the committee. Some friendly witnesses gave broader diamonds testimony with less appearance reluctantly. Private director Ed Ela Kaza, screenwriter Bud Schlossberg, they cooperated, describing political leaning of their friends and professional associates, effectively brought a halt of dozens of careers and compelling a number of artists to depart for Mexico or Europe. Others also forced to abort order to work. Director Julian Dassin was among the best known of these. Briefly, a communist, Dassin had left the party in 1939. He was immediately blacklisted after Edward Dabjak and fellow filmmaker Frank Tuttle named him to HUAC. In 1952, Drazen left for France and spent much of his remaining career in Greece. Scholar Thomas Dorothy described how the HUAC here swept until the blacklist those who had never been particularly active politically, let alone suspected of being communists. Okay, on March 23, 1951, the name of the actor Lion Stander was uttered by the actor Larry Park during the testimony of HUAC. Do you know Lion Stander? Committee Counsel Franklin S. Starbird inquires. Park replies that he knew the man, but had no knowledge of his political affiliation. No more was said about Stanley, either by parts of the committee, no accusations, no accusations, no accusations. Yet Standard phones stopped ringing. Prior to Park's testimony, Standard had worked on 10 television shows in the previous 100 days. Afterwards, nothing. When Stanley was himself called before HUAC, he began by pleading his full support in the fight against submissive activity. I know the group of fanatics who were desperately trying to undermine the Constitution of the United States by depriving artists and others in life liberties, the pursuit of happiness without processing of law. I can't tell names and cite instances. I am the one of the first victims. This is a group of ex-fascists, fascists, and American firsters and anti-Semites, people who hate everyone, including Negroes, minority groups, most like it themselves. These people are engaged in conspiracy outside all the legal process to undermine the very fundamentals of American concepts upon which our entire system of the Democrat exists. Standard clearly speaks of the committee. The hunt of submissiveness is extended in every branch of the entertainment industry. In the field of animation, two studios in Politico was affected. United Productions of Africa, of America, was purged in a large proportion of its staff, while New York-based Tempo was entirely crushed. The HUC investigate also is effectively destroying family screenwriter Richard Collins after a brief period of Blacklist. He became friendly witness and dumped his wife, actress Dorothy Comingore, who refused to name divorcing Comingore. Collins took the couple young son as well. The family's story was later dramatized in the film Guilt by Suspicion, 1991, in which the character based on Carmen committed suicide rather than endured a long mental collapse. In real life, Carmen succumbed to alcohol and died of pulmonary disease at the age of 58. In the description of historical Paul Butter and David Wagner, premature strokes and heart attacks were fairly common among blacklistees, along with a heavy drinking and his former suicide on the Storming plane. That's fucked up. That's messed up. For all that evidence that communists were actually using Hollywood films as vehicle for submissive renaming hard to come by. Sloberg report that the manuscript of his novel What Makes Sammy Run, later screenplay as well, has been subject to an analogy created by Hollywood 10 writer John Howard Lawson, who comments he has solicited. The significance of such interaction was questionable. As historian Jerron Holmes describes, many Hollywood screenwriters had joined association with the local Communist Party chapter because it was offended by a collective to a professional thought it was immersed in tremendous isolation at the typewriter. Then writers claimed had an informed board of respected songwriters, including Lawson and Ringo Jr., who read as comment upon any screenwriter submit to them. Although their criticism could be plentiful, stinger, and sometimes politically dogmatic, the author was entitled to free and accept or reject as he or she pleased without becoming the slightest conquer or sanction. Much unscreened evidence and communist influence uncovered. HUAC was feasible at best. One witness remembered Stander while performing in the film whistled left-wing informational at his character wait for an elevator. Another noted the screenwriter Lester Cole, has inserted lines from a famous pro-lawyer speech of by El Passionari about it being better to die on your feet, to live on your knees. Wow. A Geppetto delivered football coach. Others disagree how the communists affect the film industry. The author Kenneth Beasley, writing Reason magazine, said that Trouble wrote the Daily Worker about films which he has said communist influence in Hollywood had prevented from being made, along with proposed abduction of Arthur Kessler, anti-tolerating works, Darkness at Noon, and the Yogi and the Commissioner. which describes the rise of communists in Russia. Authors Ronald and Alice Russell write The Red Star Over Hollywood. The film comedy romance with the left says that Trumbo bragged about how he and other party members had stopped the anti-communist film from being produced. Now, thank you so much. Now, we already got that out the way. Making a move. Making a move now. Making a move now. Start picking people out. Now, of that time, it was people who were still resistant. Now I'm getting ready to read right now. It's going to be the heights of it. Everything that they're planning. Excuse me. Back in 1947, the early 50s, plan in motion. But it wasn't in the heights. It was. Now I'm going to read right now. They're going to take the next step. I'm going to show my food. Then we're going to keep this going. This is homemade French fries with sweet onions cut up. Salsa right underneath there too. Melted sharp cheddar, regular hot dogs with spicy mustard, tea right here, little sugar, little vanilla, and lemon extract. Here you go. Welcome to excuse me. Welcome. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you. Appreciate that. Now, let's get them lights up, family. Let's get them lights up. Now the heights. This is the heights now. This is just we're gonna take to another level. Heights. 1952 through 1956. In 1952, the Screenwriters Guide, which had been founded about 2 decades before, 3 future members of the Hollywood 10 Authority, the movie studios, to omit from the screens the name of any individual who had failed to clear themselves before Congress. Ryder's daughter Tobo, for instance, one of the Hollywood's 10, was still very much on a blacklist, has received screen credits in 1950 for writing years earlier the story on which the screenplay of Columbia Records, The Mercy Wedding, was based. That would be no more than until the 1960s. The name of Albert Mortz had written the original screenplay, The Robe, in the mid-1940s, was now here to be seen when the movies were released in 1953. As William O'Neill described, the pressure was maintained even those who had a sittable or tangible cleared themselves. On December 27, 1952, American Legion announced that it would disapprove its new film, Moulin Rouge, starring Jose Ferreira, which used to be no more progressive than hundreds of other actors and already been grilled by HUAC. The picture itself was based on the life of Toulouse-Lautrec, and was totally apolitical. 9 members of the Legion has picket anyway, giving rise to the controversy. By this time, people was not taking any chances for him. Immediately wired the Legion National Command. He would gladly join the veterans in a fight against communism. The group effort dragged many into the Blacklist in 1954. Screenwriter Louis Pollack, a man without any political views and association, suddenly had this career yanked out from under him because the American Legion confused him with Louis Pollack, a California collier, which had refused to cooperate with HUAC. During the same period, the number of influential newspaper columnists covered the entertainment industry, including Walter Winchell, Hedda Copper, Victor Russell, Jack O'Brien, and George Sarkowski, regarding often names of suggestions that they would be added to the blacklist. Actor John Allen received an out-of-court settlement to end a 1954 lawsuit against Young and Rubicam. Advertiser AC, which had ordered him to drop from the lead intelligence series it sponsors. Variety describes it as to be the first industrial mission of which had been sometime been an open secret that the threat of being labeled a politician of non-conference code. Girl, right there. This is they really step it up, family. This is really gonna step it up. Really, yeah, they really pushing this. Barrage is why the first industrial mission, which has sometimes been an open secret that the threat of being labeled a political non-conference or worse have been used against show business personality, and that screen system at its worst determine these actors available for roles. The Hollywood blacklist has long hand in hand with the red baiting activities of J. Edgar Hoover FBI. Adversities of HUAC, such as lawyer Barton Crum, who defends some of the Hollywood 10 in front of the committee in 1947, which labeled communist sympathizers or submissives and target for investigation themselves throughout the 1950s. The FBI taped Crum phones, opened his mail, and placed him under rigorous surveillance. As a result, he lost most of his clients and unable to cope with the stress and clearly harassed, committed suicide in 1959. Intimately and divided at the left now sees at the central purpose of the HUAC hearings. Fundraising for once popular humanitarian effort became difficult, and despite the sympathies of many of the industry, there was little support in Ohio, such as civil rights movement opposed to nuclear weapon testing. The struggle attended the blacklist play out metaphorically on the big screen in various ways, as described film star James Chapman Carl Freeman, who had refused to testify before the committees, wrote The Western High Noon, 1952, which town marshal played ironically by friendly witness Gary Cooper, found himself deserted by good citizens of Haiti, reading Hollywood, which a gang of outlaws had terrorized the town several years earlier. HUAC returns. Cooper lawman cleared a paid Hattieville. Performing was forced lead to Europe to find work. Even more famously, Kazan and Schoenberg collaborate on the movie, widely seen as justified decision to name names. On the waterfront, 1954 became one of the most honorable films in Hollywood history, winning 8 Academy Awards, including Oscar for Best Film, Kazan directed, and Schoenberg screenplay. The film featured Lee J. Cobb, one of the best-known actors. Its names. Time Out film guy argues the film is undermined by Sebastian's special plea on behalf of the informers. After his release from prison, Herbert Biderman of the Hollywood 10 direct Salt of the Earth worked independently in New Mexico with fellow Blacklist Hollywood professional producer Paul Jarrico, writes Michael Wolfson, and actor Rosaura Revutas, and Will Geer. The film concerning a strike by Mexican Americans mine workers was denounced as communist propaganda when it was completed in 1953. Distribution boycott, newspaper radio stations rejected assessment for it, and the projectionist union refused to run it. Nationwide, in 1954, only around a dozen theaters exhibited. Breaking the Blacklist and Present. All right, a key breaking the. I'm going to read it again. Breaking the Blacklist, 1957, present. A key figure in bringing it in to blacklisting was John Henry Faulk, host of an afternoon comedy radio show. Faulk was leftist, active in his union, the American Federation of Television and Radio Artists. He was scrutinized by Aware, one of the private firms that examined individuals for sign of commerce, sympathies, and disloyal marked by the group and as unfit. He was fired by CBS Radio. Almost among many victims of Blacklist Faulk decided to sue Aware in 1957. Though the case was dragged through the courts for years, the suit itself was an important symbol of the building resistance to the blacklist. The initial crash of the entertainment industrial blacklist was evident on television, specifically in CBS. In 1957, Blacklist actor Norman Lloyd was hired by Alfred Hitchcock as association producer for his anthology series, The Alfred Hitchcock Presents, then into his third season on the network. On November 30th, 1958, a live CBS production of Wonderful Town, based on short stories written by then communist Ruth McKinney, appeared with the proper writing credit of the Blacklist Edward Charvo, along with his literary partner Joseph Fields. And the following year, actress Betty Hutton insists that Blacklist composer Jerry Fielding be hired as musical director for her new series, also on CBS. The first main break, Hollywood Blacklist, followed soon afterwards. On January 20th, 1960, director Otto Preminger publicly announced that Dalton Trump, one of the best-known members of the Hollywood 10, was a screenwriter of his forthcoming film Exodus. 6.5 months later, when Exodus still debuted, the New York Times announced that University Pictures would give Trumbull screen credit for his role as a writer of Spartacus, a decision Star Kirk Douglas now recognized a largely response for. On October 6th, Spakatos premieres first movie to bear Traubel's name since he had received story credits on A Mercy Wedding in 1950. Since 1947, he had written or co-written approximately 17 motion pictures without credit. Exodus filed in December, also bearing Traubel's name. The Blacklist now clearly coming to an end, but effects continue to reverberate even to this present day. John Henry Falk won his lawsuit in 1962. With this court decision, the private blacklist of those who used them were put on notice, and they were legally liable for professional and financial damage they had caused. This helped to bring in a publication such as Counterattack, like Adrian Scott and Lillian Hellman. However, a number of those on the blacklist remained the extended period. Lord Lion Stander, for instance, he would not find work at Harvard until 1965. Some of those names were like Kaza, Slumber, argued for years after, but they had made ethical proper decision. Others like other actor Lee Carr, director Mike Gordon, who gave friendly testimony to HUAC after suffering a blacklist for a time, concealed with remorse of their plan was to name their way back to work, and they was more gravely haunted by the choice they had made. In 1963, actor Sterling Hayden declared, "I was a rat, a stoolie, and the name I named with the close to my friends was blacklisted and deprived of their livelihood." Scholar Paul Burr and Dave Wagner states that Hayden was widely believed to have drunk himself into near suicide depression decades before his 1986 death. Into the 21st century, the Writer's Guide pursued a correction of screen credits from movies from 1950s and early 1960s to properly reflect the work of the blacklist writers such as Carl Foreman and Hugo Butler. December 19, 2011, the guy acting on a request for investigation made by his dying son, Christopher Traubel, announced that Dalton Stewart would get full credit of his work of a screenplay of his 1953 romantic comedy, Roman Holiday, almost 60 years after the fact. The Hollywood 10 and other 1947 blacklists. I'm not going to read these names because I already read it, but I'm going to read this part. The following 10 individuals will cite contempt of Congress, also blacklist after refusing to answer these questions, allegedly involved with Communist Party. I read this. I'm gonna read this part because I think this is the last. I think this is the last part. In September 7th, in late September 1947, HUAC subpoenaed 79 individuals, which only claimed that there was submissive and supposition that they was injected. Hold on, friend. Supposition that they was injected communist propaganda in their films. Although they never substantially this claim. The investigator charged them with contempt of Congress. They refused to answer the questions about their membership and the screenwriting guide in Communist Party. The committee demanded they admit their political beliefs and names of other communists. 19 of them who refused to cooperate due to illness, scheduling, conflict, exhaustion, for the chaotic hearings. Only 10 appeared before the committee. These men became known as Hollywood 10. Belonging to the Constitution Party, belong to the Communist Party, they did not consult their crime. And the committee right to investigate these men was questioned in the first place. These men rely on the First Amendment right to privacy, freedom of speech, and freedom of thought. But the committee charged them with contempt of Congress for refusing to answer questions. Later, defendant except Peter Sager tried to different strategies. Acknowledging the potential of punishment, the 10 took stands resisting authority of HUAC. They yelled at chairman and treat the committee with open imagination. Indignation, many negative and discouraged outside public favor and help. Upon receiving their contempt citations, they believed the Supreme Court would overturn their rulings, which would not turn to be on case and the result as convicted contempt and fined $1,000 each, or over 10,700 that's USD, and $2,016 was adjusted for information and sentenced to 6 months to 1 year prison terms. The HUAC did not treat the 10 with respect either, refused to allow them speak for more than just a few words at a time. Meanwhile, witnesses had arranged to cooperate with the committee, such as anti-communist songwriter Annie Red, were allowed to speak at length. Martin Redding suggests at that time the First Amendment rights was free expression. In these cases, was used to protect the powers of the government accusers instead of the rights of a citizen victim. That's still going today. After witnessing well-publicized ineffectiveness of the 10 defense strategies, later defendant chose to plead the Fifth Amendment against self-discrimination. Instead, public support of the Hollywood 10 wave, as everyday citizens observe, were never sure what makes up them. Some of these men later wrote up their experience a part of the 10. John Howard Lawson, the 10 official leader, wrote a book attacking Hollywood by pleasing HUAC. While mostly criticizing studios for their weaknesses, Lawson also defends himself. The 10 criticized Edward Dumtrot for being the only one to react and eventually cooperate with HUAC. In his 1981 autobiography, Hollywood Red, screenwriter Lester Colt stated that all Hollywood 10 had been Communist Party U.S. members at some point. Other members of the Hollywood 10, such as Dr. Trumbo and Edward Dumtrot, publicly admitted being communist while testifying before the Congress. While Dumtrot wrote his memoir of this period, he denounced the 10 and defended his decision to work with HUAC. He claimed he had left the Communist Party before even having to be subpoenaed. Defined himself as an odd man out. He condemned the 10 legal tactics of defiance and regrets saying the groups as long as they did. And they show the names that I already read the names, But one of the names I read is Paul Robeson. Paul Robeson was one of the first blacks that was blackballed. But he was blackballed earlier than that. I read about that. That's People First Blacklist between January 1940. I already read about the names. No, okay, I read. All right, Ben. Let me read this. Ben Blacklist screenwriter, Paul Dapper, actor and dancer, Sharon A. Gibney, screenwriter, Paul Green, playwright and screenwriter, Lily Hammond, playwright and screenwriter, Canada Lee, actor, Paul Robeson, actor and singer, Edwin Rose, screenwriter and poet, William Sweet, radio person, Richard Wright, writer. The Red Channels. We have the elder, actor, musician, Luther Elder, actor and director, Senator Adder, actor and teacher, Edith Adwater, actor, Howard Bay, screening designer, Ralph Bell, actor, Leonard Bernstein, composer and conductor, Walter Bernstein, screenwriter, mentioned in Varro Accepts and Soviet Agents, Mark Bernstein, visiting composer, Millen Brand writer, Oscar Brand folk singer, Joseph Edward Barney, actor, Hyman Brown, producer and director, John Brown, actor, A. Burrs, playwright and lyricist, Morris Calabresi, actor, Cliff Carpenter, actor, Vera Casper, writer, Eric Cardwell, screenwriter and producer, Jerome Cardwell, writer, I guess they brothers, May Christian, actor, Lee J. Cobb, actor, Mark Carney, playwright, Aaron Copeland, composer, Aaron Cohen, writer, Howard D. Silver, actor, Roger D. Coping, actor, Dean Dixon, conductor, Owen Downs, music critic, Alfred Drake, actor and singer, Paul Dapper, actor and dancer, Howard Dub, actor, Clifford J. Doyle, attorney, Richard Dyer Bennett, folk singer, Jose Furry, actor, Louise Fix Lewis, actor, Marta Gabriel, actor, Arthur Getz, radio commentator, William S. Gilmore, journalist and radio commentator, John Garland, actor, Willie G. actor, Jack Guilford, actor and comedian, Tom Gage, folk singer, Ruth Gordon, actor and screenwriter, Lloyd Gold, actor, Morton Gold, pianist and composer, Sterling Graham, writer, Ben Goss, radio and TV personality, Miss Grayson, radio producer and director, Horace Ringnow, conductor and music producer, Alta Hagen, actor and teacher, Dashir Hammett, writer, E.Y. Yip Harburg, literalist, Robert P. Heller, television journalist, Lillian Hyman, playwright and screenwriter. Hold on, fam, hold on. Hold on, family. Sorry about that, family. Sorry about that. Okay, Lily Hellman, playwright, screenwriter, John Herman, intern, Nat Hiker, writer and producer, Rose Hobart, actor, Julie Holliday, actor and comedian, Roderick B. Hellman, journalist, Lena Horne, singer and actor. These are a few blacks who was part of that too. And even in the beginning, I got to post that out. Langston Hughes, writer. Martha Hunt, actor. Leon Hurst, director. Charles Irving, actor. Hold on, fam. Hold on. Let me get this out the way. But hey, there's a lot. There's a lot, family. That let me get back to the list because we got a few more. So hold on, fam. Hold on. I'm telling you, oh my God. And and then some majority of them that had they was blacklist, and despite it calmed down like in the 60s, some of them had never found any more work. They had not found any more work, family. And that is sad. And don't forget, I'm doing another live 9 o'clock. So that's gonna be a little special. All right, so watch out for that. There you go. Nat Hiken, writer and producer. Rose Hobart, actor. Oh, I read that. I'm sorry. Charles Irvin, actor. Bert Odd, folk singer and actor. Sad Jaffe, actor. Leon Jennings, actor. Joe Julian, actor. Garcia Kenny, writer and director. Donna Keith, radio actor. Herb Keita, actor. Alexander Couric, journalist and author. And these are some of the people that later on had supported the civil rights movement too. You throw that in. Howard Koch, screenwriter. Adelaide Klein, actor. Millard Lampert, screenwriter. John Latosh, liturgist. Arthur Lindgren, writer. Gypsy Rose Lee, actor and essayist. Manly Lee, actress. Ray Love, classic pianist. Phil Lowe, actor. Ellie Logan, actor and singer. Alan Lomax, folks, Lawrence and music artist. Avon Long, actor and singer. Joseph Losey, director. Peter Lyon, television writer. Alain McNaught, actor. Paul Mann, director and teacher. Margot, actor and dancing. Myron McCormick, actor. Paul Graff, actor. Burgess Meredith, actor. Arthur Miller, playwright. Henry Morgan, actor. Zero Mostel, actor and comedian. G. Moore, actor. Meg Mooney, actor. Lynn Murray, composer and choral director. Ben Mayer, attorney. Dorothy Parker, writer. Arnold Pearl, producer and writer. Minerva Post, actor. Samson Rapperson, Raphaelson, screenwriter and playwright. Bernard Rice, accountant. I could read all, family. and some of these people that I finished reading, that I'm skipping over now. That some of them are our favorite. There's some of us as a people too. There's a lot going by here. So this is, let me see, let me check it. How's everybody doing? Thanks for coming. But I'm not gonna do panel discussion on this one, but definitely 9 o'clock. But thanks for everybody that came. It's very much appreciated. And it goes to show that these are people, not just blacks, but all walks of life. They stick with what they believe in. And majority of them had not even found work. There are some, they paid the price almost 30, 40 years after. Now, I'm going to drop a jewel on y'all. Now, during those times, the CIA and the FBI, they started. And all this happened, they was not even follow the Constitution. So some people had to stand up. So let me put my thing up here. I show my food. Last time I showed my food. This is it's like last night, but it's different. Homemade French fries, sweet onions, but this time I put underneath that, I put some salsa, and on top, melted sharp cheddar cheese. Just regular hot dogs, spicy mustard, tea. The ones that didn't come last night. The one who come last night, you know what I'm talking about. Same thing. Tea, little sugar, little vanilla, and lemon extract. Now get back what I'm saying. Now when the 60s come into effect, right? They use the same method that try to demonize. That's how they demonize. They taught the blacklist started like in 1947. I mean, like in the 30s. Like I said, J.J. Hoover was head of CIA over 30 years till he passed away in 69. Okay? And they used about the same methods of JFK, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and Nation of Islam, and then plus even the Black Panther Party, of anything that stand against evil. Because you gotta understand, they said they supposed to upheld the law, but they wasn't. And a lot of people had lost work for years. And even the great Paul Robeson. They doesn't say in here because they ain't gonna say nothing about it. But he was one of the few ones earlier was talking about the oppression of his rights. And he's one of the first ones that went overseas and he became a star. I don't think he never came back. I think I did a story on Paul Robeson, I think a year and a half ago. I'm not sure. If I pull it up, I will find it. If I pull it up, matter of fact, I know I did, but it's somewhere. I don't know. It's a live stream or video. But I did some on him. But other than that, when I pull it up, I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna talk it. Because I gotta find a way how to pull this up and make sure it be on the screen so y'all can see that. Maybe I could read that, then we could talk more about that. But he was one of the first blacks was on blackball. And hold on, family. Get this all. Yeah, so you gotta understand how they were building it, how they were doing it. Now, but get back to the story, right? They, like I said, they use the same methods, even against NAACP 2. I forgot about NAACP 2. So it was like out of attack. So I understand that quite a few people think of that time that the FBI was like withholding the Constitution, but they wasn't. They was not withholding the Constitution. And it goes to show that even like there's people that look like them, they didn't care. And they even like discriminate even, people of color, like Mexicans and all like that too. They have to like go file, they have to file the what? Even the great poet, the great writer, late great James Baldwin, I believe he was part of that too. Oh, so understand the conditions back in America, how they have it, and let's get the lights. Information man, thanks for coming, brother. Appreciate that. So to understand this blackball, now is it prevalent today? Yes, it is. Does it have the stranglehold of the industry? Yes, it is. Maybe the change of command is different, but the sad thing about it, the method is dead, because now you're talking about like during the time blackmail, then you got to talk about organized crime. They start building stuff like that. They start intervening in sports and stuff like that. I'm not saying that it's like that, but you could connect that, how it works and everything. So here you go. So, oh yeah, I forgot to say this. And also, we have to understand how it works today, because you got to understand that J.J. Hoover, it was talking, I don't know if it was a rumor or not, but it was talking about he liked little boys. And so what happened was they could never like stop organized crime. And that's when like organized crime, they filtered like drugs in it. And so I heard it, organized crime had pictures of J.J. Hoover playing with little boys. He loved little boys. So he never really touched them. So all this stuff is really happening. And so he went after the Black Panthers, like I said, for NAACP, anybody that's standing against oppression. So we have to understand the even like I said, the civil rights movement was in effect too. what they trying to pursue. So you have to understand too, even like the bombing of the 4 girls back in the early 60s, you know, it was like, you know, you see like the federal government was acting slow on that. And even like, you know, they was cahoots with the local police department. And so this oppressed system works in one conjunction, family. So when we think that the black ball was not in effect right now, you're fooling yourselves. It's in full effect. Now, what's the good about it? What's so bad? The good about it that we actually see it. Because we got social media. Almost 30 years. Almost 30 years going on now. But the sad thing about it, same old tricks. Same old fools running it. Excuse me. You square that. So the cycle continues. So we have to look at the paradigm of the timing. We have to understand that each significant social of that timing is really happening. Now, there's quite a few people that have suffered, but at the same time, talking about us as a people, right? We never really gained really economics. We, you know, while they was getting turned down, we was getting turned down even before that, you know? So they would blackball us, even they created blackball. And we have to understand that history. There's a lot of actors and actors had to act like Holly, the late great Holly Matheny. She won an Oscar. I forgot the name of the movie back in 1939. Play as a maid. But she did other movies that is great. You got Harry Belafonte. They said one of the best all around, you know, entertainers ever. The late great Lena Horne, Della Reese, the great Sammy Davis Jr., part of the Rap Club. Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, and him. They practically ruled that back in the 50s. The Rap Club. But there's certain things he couldn't do. And quiet, talented as they was. Right? Even you got some boxers, black boxers back then was owned by organized crime. They wasn't getting no paper. Then you got others that even like in the music, they was writing songs back then, but they wasn't getting credit for it. The ones who own that, the whites. They put their name on it. Oh, they get copyrights and so on. They wasn't getting nothing. All it is they take you just won't play, make our money. We just give you pennies. Like look at the Frankie Lyman movie. I don't know, towards the end or at the end, he I think somebody killed him. He was looking for drug back 68. He died, but his estate was like over $2 million. But he married by I think two or three women. I don't know if he had kids or not. I don't know, but it was this phone producer. They said, "Why are you right?" He said, "You got to understand that's something they did. I'm sorry, I didn't know, but he knew." And that's like 30 years later. Now I don't know what happened. Like, real life, did any of these women? I think one of them got this state, but the other ones do it. But it goes to show that even us as a people was getting blackballed. to the fullest. But we was getting blackballed ever since we came in this country. And so, and I think that that's the thing that we failed to realize. That let's not think about we got blackballed, you know, that just what happened when I read it. No, we getting blackballed in every aspect that you think of. Welcome back, Candy. And one of those hold on, let me. And one of those who got blackballed too is I'm gonna get up here in a few minutes. Is on 9 o'clock is the late great Hazel Dorothy Scott, a great jazz pianist and singer. She had been in quite a few movies too. I'm just giving you a little of it and wet your beak a little bit because I want y'all to come back, because this one, the next one, I ain't gonna have panel participation, and I'm looking for sisters to be on the panel. Because this is a great story. I'm not gonna tell you everything, but this is a great story. She died young, 61, back in 81. She is part of making popular music that is not being mentioned. Now, we know in our community, we study community, but I'm not even going to tell you who she married up. I'm not going to tell you that. But the late, great jazz pianist and singer, the late, great, our sister, our queen, I put a queen, Hazel Dorothy Scott. Do a story about 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. But I'm gonna say my last things. I'm not gonna read the names off. I know it's a lot of names, but the ones who came and stick with me, thank you so much. I hope that you get a lot of this, and you know, and share this. Very important. Share this. And it's a great. This is what we need to know. We got to teach our kids about that. You know, we need to talk about it even back then too. This is not too long ago, friend. I want you to understand that. That's like within 80 years ago. This was happening. Matter of fact, longer than that. Like for our people, longer than that. Because you have to understand at that time of the blacklist, and I'm talking about us as a people too, there are some people at that time, they did not want us to talk against about America, because at that time, a lot of things really happened in America of that time. And there were some people that actually was talking for our rights too. That did not mention it, but I know about that. So for us as a people, we have to keep on reminding ourselves that we're still in the war. And understand that the ones that be in show business, sorry about that, Frank. I got something caught in my throat. But the ones in show business, our people, they gotta do something. They doing something. Blackmail happening. You gotta do this. Now we gotta talk about throwing the white privilege with it. And the people different nationalities, they work within that white privilege. Like I always say, have to learn to connect the dots. So when we turn up, when we not being mentioned, because the media, because see, the mainstream media is not going to tell you. They're going to hold things deliberately. So it's up to us to connect the dots and do our own investigation of what's going on in the past and understand that it's prevalent right now. Now, what happened to them, sorry about that. But us got worse because there's a lot of our, even our entertainment of our people, they actually died too. Because they thought they was communists too. And we have to understand, we have to respect what they did too. And really, of that time, I'm talking about us as a people, jazz was hitting hard. And blues. And the sector of the R&B is really forming too. Even even instead of nigga music, they start calling black music. So that's what Billboard at that time, you know, they made a catalog. I mean, black music, blackball. So we have to understand that it's a it's a lot of stuff that we could, you know. Hold on, family. That we could connect the dots, family. We have to learn to connect the dots. And so, but like I said, 9 o'clock, I will be back probably a little after 9. Everything already got it set it up. Already got set up. So if I start a little after something 9, don't worry, I'm coming. I'm coming, but most of the time I'm gonna start on time. I like to start things on time. You know I do. But if I come a little after 9 o'clock, don't worry about it. I'm coming. I got it set up and everything. Already sent the invites out and everything. All right? And the ones, my doom shotters, I'm glad for y'all to come. Call some, let the people know to share this excellent information. And let's understand that gotta keep on working. And also, I did a man live last night. Came out great. Last brothers, it was a lot of brothers the first one, but the one last night ain't that many brothers, but we had a good old time. Lot of information, brothers. So check that out last night. It was on my channel. Lot of information. At the end, we was clowning around, but we was telling the truth. The sisters even like spearing the song. Even brothers in there. Go ahead. Want y'all check that out. Let's get them likes, the views up on last night. I want let us know. Let us know how you feel about it. All right, even this one too. But we talk about some tough issues that happen to us as brothers. You know, it's always easy to critique ourselves as doing good. The point is, but what about we do something wrong? Are we willing to accept that? Constructive criticism. And that's very important. We have to understand, get back to my point. That blacklist put a strain on America, but what it did to us as a people put a bigger strain. And I'm talking about the entertainment, I'm talking about the arts, the business life, and everything else. So, again, I want to thank for y'all to come. Jay Sides talking. Thank yo, Jay Sides random. Thanks for coming, brother. I really appreciate it. The ones who come. Matter of fact, Jay Sides random. Hold on, brother. You know, you always been supporting me for lately. So, let me tell you what the brother did. I will come back 9 o'clock. This is what the brother did. This is homemade French fries, sweet onions. I put some salsa underneath. Fry. This is a melted sharp cheddar cheese, regular hot dog with mustard on it. And this is tea, little sugar, little vanilla and lemon extract on it. And also Jay Siran, I will come back tonight. I will come back within 30 minutes. I might be a little late, but it's okay. Come back. Welcome my brother and everybody else that came in late. I will be back 9 o'clock. Yeah, I'm gonna get off right. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna get off. Yeah, I want y'all. Everybody come back. Tell people I'm coming back within 30 minutes. All right. So the late great Hazel Dorothy Scott, jazz pianist and singer, very underrated. Come with another banger. Sisters, this is gonna be a panel participate. I want brothers to come on too, but I want sisters to come on the panel tonight. And Jay Sean Randall, if you want to get on the panel, you can get on the panel too. But I want mostly sisters to come on the next one tonight. I want to hear more sisters to represent our sisters, right? So, on behalf of everybody in the panel, in the chat, thank you so much. Make sure you pass it out, share this, do our social media. You know, Uncle Underrated. Also, the underrated one, the Grinder. I will be back. On that note, get host.